All right, welcome back everyone to the Esper podcast. I'm your host, Skyler, and today we have another fellow podcaster that I met throughout the lines, and he's going to be sharing his story of what he's known for, which is promoting social emotional wellness. Lee, welcome to the show.
Hey, Skyler, welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome me to my show. This is your show. Thank you.
Right. And we're just going to be asking you some questions today, and then we'll get a minute to talk about your podcast that I've listened to a few. I don't know if anybody else here has either, probably because they don't know you yet, but they will now. So my first question to you is, so we're going on the social emotional thing, the wellness, what you do, what you specialize in. That's the category we're going for. So how can everyone use pattern recognition to confront everyday challenges like, the everyday challenge of COVID and
Yeah, that's a great question. Social emotional intelligence and wellness is relatively new, I would say, compared to the rest of what we're looking at with psychology. Usually, psychology is all about treating things that are wrong with you, but with social emotional wellness, we're looking at it from a different angle, looking at kind of what's right with you, like a bit of positive psychology, understanding yourself and your emotions and how you're affecting other people and their emotions as well. So, with social emotional psychology, we're looking at, or social emotional wellness, with patterns of behavior, you can see patterns of behavior within that. So that's where I get the patterns of possibility from, the company name and everything. So I'm looking at patterns, right? And we're looking at patterns between you and me and other people, and that's how we kind of connect with others, recognize our own patterns, what our habits are, and we're able to read other people. So that's how we can use it to cope. You can tell, like, we already are doing it. It's just bringing more consciousness to it. Like, you can tell, right, when someone is angry or what's going to make them angry. But we're looking, yeah, right, you can tell. So we're looking for more subtle things, like smaller, little everyday things that you may not notice that do have an impact. And so that's how you can use it to be more aware of what's happening in your environment.
right. And I did forget to mention this episode is sponsored by I'm about to say her name wrong, Sandra Rodriguez, I believe is how you say her last name. She is an author of a particular book that if you didn't see the ad in the beginning, so I just wanted to bring that up. But our second question to you, my second question to you, in your opinion, what is confidence, direction, and why are they important?
Oh yeah, that's just the basis of the company that I have: the confidence, direction, and resilience. Those three things will really help you understand more about yourself and who you are and what you're doing in your life. So we all need some kind of purpose or direction, and we all need something that makes us fulfilled. And getting these are the three things that I used in my experience, to get me feeling more fulfilled and feeling like I'm ready to wake up every morning. I've had my own experiences where I really wanted to connect with other people, but I couldn't possibly do that. So when I got confidence, I was able to meet with other people and make connections. And I had the direction. Well, I knew where I wanted to meet those people and what I wanted to do. So the people that I met were right along my alley, people that I could connect with. And then there's resilience, because wherever you're going and whatever you're trying to do in your life, you want to be more resilient at it, because people are going to, not work for you. They're going to try to work against you. They're going to be traps and pitfalls along the way. So you have to have that resilience and ability to cope with those issues, to come out strong and get your goals.
Right. And then, so what are some of the skills of developing a better confidence and direction?
Great. Yeah, great question. So my experience, what worked for me is learning what I was good at. I'm always focusing on something that I was good at, because it gives you the confidence. Like, the sense of completion is what makes you confident. You feel good when you complete something. We love completing things as humans. Like, just this year in 2020, we tried to wrap up the year, tried to put a big bow on it, saying, well, COVID is gone. We tried to leave everything in 2020 when we closed out the year, and now it's a new start with 2021. But that's just not true. The fact is that it's a mindset, it's a frame of mindset. So we come in the new year, we're more confident, we're happy. And so when you complete something yourself, you get that same kind of feeling. So you're more confident, more happy, and especially if you kill it, especially if you nail it, really good at it.
Right. And so, what keeps us from being connected with others, even though we may, we may not want to be connected with them? What keeps us from that?
What keeps us from being connected with other people? I think it is our own insecurities and our own fear. It's the lack of confidence that we have would keep us from connecting with other people because, the confidence will allow you to be yourself. And it's scary to be yourself when you think someone's going to make fun of you. So you go into a little shell and you hide away, but you want to be connected. You just need to be authentic. And to be authentic, you need to know, be confident, get that strength to be confident. You need to know where you're going so you have that direction, like what am I doing in life, that direction, and then the resilience to get there. So all three of those things will help you make a better connection with other people because you'll be authentic. Authenticity is the key.
Right. And then, so how do we put these tools, how do we put these skills together and use them during these very uncertain times?
Well, I would say that it's a really great time to learn about yourself. There's a huge difference between being lonely and alone. And there are a lot of people who are alone, and there are a lot of people who are lonely, surrounded by a bunch of people. So we want to get to that point where you understand yourself a lot more. If you have the time to, you're not commuting, you're hanging out with your family, and that's it. You have time to get to know yourself a lot better. So that's what I would say to get to know yourself. Use this time to try new things and see if you like them, if you don't like them. Really pay attention to you and how you feel and what you want to do, because you get that confidence when you find that thing that you can do well, and that starts you off on your journey.
Right. And I couldn't agree more. And I know it's important to plan and seek a future for oneself or yourself because you want to have something to do. You don't want to see yourself doing anything bad in the future. But what is your opinion on having the importance of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the importance of knowing the future or knowing what you want to do, just planning something even like a few hours down the road or a few days down the road is important because you want to make sure to get to that thing. It's like you have a driving force, so you're going to behave accordingly. You're going to do what it takes to get to that goal. So if you just want to, your goal is just to hang out with some friends and you have to do some planning, you've done it and you're just excited about it. At the end of the week on Saturday, you're going to hang out with them. So just imagine if you were a kid and this was back before COVID, you wouldn't get yourself into trouble. You would do what it takes. You would be good. You would do your chores or whatever was required so that you can go hang out with your friends. And it's the same kind of thing. If you have something further down the road that you want to do, you're going to behave accordingly so that you can get to that thing.
Right. And then one last question before we talk about and go on to another topic here, just about defeating your shame and building that self-esteem up is very important, but we want to get your take on it.
Defeating shame, yes, that's the best. I love the defeat shame. This when you just talk about your things that you feel, well, shame obviously about out loud, just claiming them and owning them. And that's where confidence comes in again. Like you will know exactly who you are in authenticity and know that it's okay with shame. So that'll allow you to do a lot of different things. It will allow you to try new things. It will allow you to speak your truth or talk to new people if you don't feel much shame. And you realize that shame is just an emotion, it's just a feeling that will pass by. The the thing to note about shame is it's temporary, so you don't have to relive it. You don't have to relive it.
Right. And so you do have a website, which I happen to have right here. I'm going to pull it up. Or not. Technology has its days.
Yeah, technology does whatever it wants.
All right, there we go. And of course, as always, the website for him, his website link will be in the description down below. Or you can find it at patternsofpossibility.com, whatever's easier. So we'll leave it up there for a minute while we switch over to your podcasting topic. Now, your podcast is Patterns of Possibility, as we've been saying. So just want to know, what was your story behind really starting that? When and why did you do it?
Well, I'm an avid podcast listener. I love to consume media that way, listen to audiobooks and things like that. And I was always always inspired by the fact that it's really easy to get into podcasting, and inspired by the messages that I receive from other people. And I think it's a great way to get myself out there. So I'm also in Toastmasters and the speaking. So Toastmasters is a speaking club, international speaking club. I've been doing it for 5 years or so, and I really enjoy speaking. So this was a really great move. This was exactly what I thought would be fun, and I could incorporate some other things. So I use music a lot in my podcasting, and to convey the message. I really try to make the mood of it a little finalized with music. And so it's a fun medium to play around with, other instead of like there's not as much work to do, like if you're video podcasting or things like that. So I got into it because I thought it'd be a great way to connect with other people and share my story in a fun and interesting way.
Right. And I will put that link to your podcast, as always, down in the description. And it'll be on the screen right here. Patterns of Possibility by Lee Hopkins can be found on Anchor. And from my experience with Anchor, it would be on Spotify as well, along with some other platforms, as it says right there. Well, there you go. I proved myself. But that is going to be it for today. We'll talk a little more afterwards. But I thank you for being on the show. You have been a great guest. And all of our listeners.
Well, real quick, could I just say a couple things real quick?
Oh, yeah, go right ahead.
Thanks. I appreciate that. So if you're going to check out the Patterns of Possibility podcast, I'd recommend that you start with All Fakes Are Fools and Other Things That Are True. That's a really fun episode. And it pretty much tells the story of why I started this podcast. So you can get really great insight into, what this podcast is and what I'm trying to convey. So it's a lot of fun. I really appreciate you allowing me to come on your show, Skyler. I had a really great time, and that's just about it.
All right. Well, again, go make sure you follow his podcast down below. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, comment, or if you're on Anchor, make sure you follow us on Spotify, Anchor, and all of that. That way you don't miss anything. Thank you again, and everyone, have a great day.